Hey YouTube, this is going to be the most scuffed thing you've ever seen, and it's gonna be beautiful. So, long story short, Tintin, I know you must be asking, what the hell is this? Good question. Very good question. Now you see, me and my good old buddy Medusa, you know him, he's been in some videos. We did a prediction together that one time for Goku Black Reverse Flash. He did it in like a reaction video, you know, homie. Good old buddy old pal. Well you see, we're both huge fans of Fire Emblem. And we've been playing the Path of Radiance recently, and that's been a lot of fun. And during our playthrough, there was one specific unit who had quite the journey, that being Illyana. Illyana in our team was just the biggest statistical anomaly I've ever seen in all of Fire Emblem in terms of her growth rates. See these numbers? Yeah, you see this, you know? You think this should make some sort of sense, some sort of logical anomaly of something that should just be what these numbers are, but no. See, Illyana had the weirdest tendency to never get magic, ever, and notoriously get strength. At one point, it was so bad we soft resetted her a good level up at the start of a mission. It took, and I kid you not, 16 attempts for her to get magic. She got strength 9 of those times. By the end of the game, in the final chapter, she had, and I quote, 14 strength, one off capping her stat. It was absurd how unlikely this was to have happened. Illyana's strength growth is 25%. Her magic growth is 50. Statistically speaking, she should have gotten it twice as often, which was just not the case. Also, her speed growth was just atrocious. As, dear God, I think she starts with like 8 speed. She only got it 8 times across almost over 20 level ups. It was absurd. Like, her speed growth was just bad. And because of this, Medusa had the unique tendency to just bully this character constantly. Just putting her down, especially comparatively to our other mage Soren, who, by God, with his Lysithia tier growth rates in this game, dear God, he capped his magic by the end of the game of just solid 30. It was absurd. So we had to overlevel him at a point because we lost our healer, but like, dear God, Soren carried us through a good chunk of the game. Gave me such a great unit. Meanwhile, Illyana is just standing there, and by comparison, just looked awful, and Medusa would constantly just throw her under the bus, doing in this stupid voice, "You're twish! You're garbage!" And eventually, as I voiced her, I eventually just made that her entire voice every time she talked. It got to the point of where Medusa was legitimately thinking of just benching Illyana outright at multiple points. And I also loved how, over the course of the journey, we kind of just made Ike and Illyana just the most absolute bitter of enemies, and Ike absolutely couldn't stand her entire existence. And Illyana just like, "What did I do to you?" It was just the most beautiful hate relationship I've ever seen us just create out of these characters. It was absolutely a treat. The funny thing is, in the final chapter, she killed 2 units that had given us a lot of trouble. 2 Myrmidons that had triple crit with a Ruin Sword and just kept healing off everything. Illyana just struck man down with a Thunderbolt, just killed him dead, and then just killed another guy who had a critical killing edge. And considering what happened with the last Myrmidon that we were dealing with, I did not want this Swordmaster to have any ideas of what he decided to do with his life. And then, in the most beautiful form of cosmic justice, Soren and Illyana stayed perfectly outside the final boss's range, using their physics stabs to just keep healing Ike and Nasela as they fought the man off. It was so beautifully climactic that this unit has legitimately become one of our favorite characters, despite the fact she literally has like maybe 5-6 lines of dialogue in the entire game, but minus her supports. Somehow this forgettable little mage girl has become one of our favorite characters. In the finale of it, we even did a little thing where the 2 of them kind of made up for it, only to set it up for them to hate each other yet again right after, so we can move into Radiant Dawn with this stupid plotline. With all this being said, this is gonna be scuffed. Let's do it.
I left Bridget stuck to a pole, robbed Lashana of a fabulous soul, made even Courtney lose control. Now I'm gonna leave you wedged up in a hole. This is how we will end it. This game we have played. This is how we will end it. Your bill must be paid.
in drill rig.
You think I'm gonna fall for that? Ain't a tea party, it's combat. This is how we will end it. This game we have played, this is how we will end it. Your bill must be paid.
Ooh, I'm wedged in a hole, this isn't right. If I'm going down, make a fair fight. It's beneath you to abandon a girl in a ditch. Offer me my dignity, I haven't got a stitch. Please, Alejandro, you and I have been the greatest adversaries this game has ever seen. Is this how you want to win it? Because I got jammed into a pit by a stupid rock? Is that the victory you want?
I left Bridget stuck to a pole, robbed Lashana of her fabulous soul, made even Courtney lose control. But I can't leave you wedged in a hole. This is not how we'll end it.